Well, how did training go today? Just
Training?
Mm.
Good. I mean, look, obviously they're in a good space, good mood. Players are feeling good. The collective is good. You know, it's tight. I think it's probably one of the tighter knit groups I've had. Everybody's playing well. Everybody's training hard. I mean, you need that going into the playoffs. You need everybody to be on board. So I think it's been good. Today's training was, could have been a little lax after 3 days off. But the message in the film, because we reviewed film from both Vancouver and Colorado, because we couldn't do it in the short turnaround, was we got to keep going. So they've responded pretty good.
Can you talk more about that as far as the difference from the beginning of the season and the injuries and stuff like that? I'm imagining, kind of talked a little bit before, but, the weight and now feeling a little lighter.
Games are cyclical. Seasons are cyclical. Jimmy Gabriel used to tell me all the time, he says, your luck always evens out over the course of a year. And you know what, to be fair, we probably shot ourselves in the foot. Maybe that wasn't just bad luck. Maybe we weren't playing up to our potential. We had a bunch of red cards, some injuries. But, we're a good team. And they're showing it now.
How much of that turnaround had to do with Paul Rothrock? I mean, you've always gotten a lot of productivity out of your wingers. I mean, that's just, you've always had that. And now getting the right piece, did that help a lot?
Sure. He's been the surprise, but it's a team sport. I think everybody's pitched in. You want to talk about starting back to front. I mean, the goalkeeping's been good. Andrew and Steph have done really well. We got a lot of shutouts, a lot of good stats. I see some of the stuff, out there about Steph. The team defensively, again, leading the league, leading the charge. I think that's helped. Certainly Rothrock and, finding a group that's been kind of labeled as starters. I think that continuity has helped. And then you've still got, little pockets of, competition. Because Georgie's done well, Pedro's done well. Where do I put Christian? What's going to happen to JP? I mean, there's still some things out there. Alex had to compete against his brother at one point this year. So I think everything has kind of come into place to bring us here. I'm not so sure I could credit Paul for everything, but he's certainly done his part.
How is JP after getting those few minutes? What do you kind of see for him?
Well, expectations were in line for, just coming back off injury. It was hard, tough. Put him back in a game like that, but he'll be fine.
Do you feel pretty settled in terms of your starting 11 at this point, or is that still? Do you feel like it's still a week by week?
I just gave you the two spots.
How much of watching this game over this morning, it seemed like the transition moments were just so much easier than they were, obviously like a month ago. But is that just the players settled it in? Is it the different movements that were going on? Or, what do you think the credit to that?
Again, each game is different. Houston was a tough game. I'm not just going to stick it to one game. I'll try and open it up a little bit. We've had some tough, challenging games in this stretch. We've had some games where we've been on top of teams. I'm not going to name the teams, but each game is different, and the team plays each game as it comes, and subtle nuances in each one. Colorado was different than Vancouver.
How do you feel about the rhythm of the games? Because Steph made a comment about not necessarily liking the 3 games because of the breaks that you have, and obviously you're going to have 2 here, and then Portland, and then another
break in November, and playoffs.
Especially since y'all are playing well. How do you feel?
Well, we'd love to make sure that we keep some rhythm, and that's why we'll have a scrimmage at the end of this week. But it's never the same, Jada. The international breaks are part of our sport. We accept them. You train through them, and players like to keep going, especially when they're feeling good. You're absolutely correct.
So you don't care about the best of 3 or however the playoffs go. It goes.
Well, I have no control over it. Would I prefer something else? You can ask me that question later. But right now, that's what we get, and we're going to deal with it.
Obed Vargas was named 7th on the 22 under 22 list.
Only
today.
7th? Come on.
That was going to get your reaction. I guess that's your reaction.
Come on, he's number one in my book. I mean, look, there's some talented kids on that list. I saw the list. I voted, of course. But Obed's really, I mean, his trajectory is pretty good. I mean, he's a talented player.
You know, for a player who just got a Mexican national team call-up, who is on, I mean, is it still possible to be underrating him a little bit? I mean, does this list suggest that he's being underrated?
Maybe because, look, does he score a lot of goals? Does he get a lot of assists? Does he, impact games in real visible ways? Maybe not. But, when you look at Obed and how he plays, what impact he has during the flow of different games, he's been tremendous.